What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I'm back with my segment Off the Shelf, and this time we're going to talk about The Dark Knight. Now, if you've not seen the first one I did, I'll put the link down there for it, and I spoke about Jurassic Park. And what I do in this series is talk about my love for this film. So today's the anniversary of The Dark Knight, so there's no better time than to express my love for a film than when it first was released. So what I'm going to do is get into what I love about the film. Second, going to get into my experience with the film the first time I saw it. And then third, the physical media I own and why I own it. And in this case, I have multiple copies to show y'all. So to begin, this movie is one of the best of all time, period. I don't think anyone will dispute that claim at all. This film is in my top 25 films of all time and in my favorite comic book movies, and just single-handedly flipped the genre on its head. So I'm not going to do a deep dive in the film because, I mean, you can do YouTube searches to find all kind of video essays to talk about this movie's greatness. You can look at all types of articles written about this film. Whatever you want to know about the movie, you can find other places. So I'm not going to do the technicality thing. I'm just going to go off of why I love the film and what it did to me watching it, right? So first of all, this movie is the best written comic book movie ever. And I think that that's what makes the film so bulletproof, because I do see some gripes when it comes to The Dark Knight about the action could be better, and, you know, Heath Ledger outdid Batman and those other things, but at the end of the day, everything is written so masterfully that you can't refute it. Like the point of Joker being so good was the point of the film. It just is what it is. You can see it in Heath's performance. You can see the way the script builds and how everything kind of focals around Joker, with Batman being brought into what the Joker's doing. It's something that can be studied when it comes to writing a hero story versus a villain. If you ever needed any notes possible, this movie would give you everything you need in regards to how to write such a great story. I love that the dialogue just feels so poetic, but at the same time, not Shakespearean to where it takes you out of the story. There are so many different quotables. You know, of course, the joint that Harvey Dent said, you either die trying to be a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. There are so many different quotables about this, and every single person that has screen time has character. They're memorable, whether it be just from the way that they say things or just the lines that they say. Nobody on screen just kind of falls in the background unless they're literally in the background. I mean, there's little moments of this movie that just ring off in my head randomly, like, no more dead cops. Like, I always hear that in my head randomly, just like when I see a crowd of people trying to go against something in my head, I'm like, no more dead, just because of that one little moment. And there are just a lot of things scattered throughout the film that are just great like that. And I just like the real world aspect of Batman that this movie carries. Like, if Batman were a real person in the real world, this is exactly what you would get. Christian Bale yet again steps confidently into the role of Bruce Wayne in Batman, and he's even more commanding here than he was in Batman Begins. And of course it's played that way because this is the second movie and he's been Batman for a while, so he has an idea of what he's doing, and you get that sense here opposed to its predecessor, and it's done in such a masterful way that you can see it in all portions, but there's still this piece of learning as he's navigating in this terrible city of Gotham. And Hans Zimmer's score to back the whole movie just makes every little piece of this film epic. Again, the writing is just so damn good that it's just chef's kiss with everything. The way the story just ends up forming into itself, with Joker still being the one that won this whole time, and how he had so many different narratives going on that it gets streamlined at that last conversation him and Batman have about turning the city's white knight into the dark knight. It's so beautifully done. The cinematography as well, I'm big on the visuals, and the visuals here slap like no other. So many different wides to really open the shot to let you know the scope of the story being in one city. So it makes the city just feel bigger than it actually is, when it's just literally a metropolitan like Newark or New York. It's just the same thing. And Nolan just crushed it. To me, this is still his best film, and this is always the movie that I feel like comic book movies will chase as far as quality, because it's just top tier shit, man. So, love the film. Now, my experience with it. What's funny about this film is I didn't even see Batman Begins initially. This was like 2005, so I was still in high school, and at the time, the big thing that was popping for my age was anime. So things like American comic books for people my age, and of course where I'm at, it could be different for different folks, but anime was so popping that I kind of turned a blind ear to comic books and American comic books, and was just so focused on that when Batman Begins released, it just kind of flew over my head and I didn't even realize it, right? So boom, 3 years later, I see the trailer for The Dark Knight and I'm like, whoa, what is this? This movie just came out of nowhere? Like, what the fuck happened? But then I realized it's a sequel to Batman Begins, and I was like, oh snap, that's the movie that they were talking about, that I saw like a piece of but didn't care about? Went back and watched Batman Begins, and I was like, oh yeah, The Dark Knight is a must. My wife, she was in the same boat. Like, she didn't see the first one when it initially released, but doubled back on it, and we had to see it. And like many things, my wife is a huge Batman fan as well. One of the many reasons I married her, and she's the woman for me. But we had to see this day one. So to continue my story time of going to the premiere in my city. Now, this is 2008, right? So this was back when online ticket purchases were just being a thing. Fandango was just a thing.
You're the best. We're never stressed. For tickets, baby. Fandango. Long lines are in the past. We'll get it fast, baby. Fandango. I said Fandango. Fandango. Baby.
Next time, guarantee your ticket. Buy in advance on Fandango.
That's what I'm talking about.
And the thing about Fandango back then is you could just buy your tickets, but you didn't get to choose the seats. So you still had to be at the movie theater early enough to get good seats. Some of y'all don't even remember that. I know I'm aging myself here, but hey, I'm an OG now because I've been going to movies forever. Hell, I was going to movies when you had to go to the ticket stand early and buy the tickets to get you a seat because it might sell out. So bought the tickets online, and we showed up to the theater an hour before the showtime. I believe the first show they had was like 8 something, and I made sure to buy that one because I was like, I gotta see it first. I don't wanna hear no spoilers. I don't wanna hear nobody talk about it. I gotta see it for myself. So we pulled up about an hour before and just waited in the lobby. And literally they opened up, I guess, the line to start 30 minutes in, and we stood in line for 30 minutes. That just shows how much we was excited to see this film. Finally got in and was just floored by it. I'll never forget when we left the theater, me and my wife were in the car just geeking and talking about how great this film was, the suspenseful moments about that part when the mayor is kind of like looking out the window and that dead body slaps and hits the glass, how terrifying that was. It's been an experience that's forever been in my memory since seeing it, just because I watched that film like, this is a true Batman film. You know, before Batman Begins, of course, and The Dark Knight, all of the Batman stuff we had was more on the campier side, because even like Batman Returns and Batman 89, it's good, and it's not nowhere near as like corny and campy as like Forever and Batman and Robin. But to me, those movies still weren't what I envisioned as what Batman would be, if that makes sense. Still great, again, still great. But The Dark Knight was like, that's Batman. That's a Batman movie. That's what I expect right there. Even with the action, like I do think that the action could have been a little better with the hand-to-hand combat, but it still works as Batman story because I'm applying the ideology that this is him in the real world. So the fights are very realistic, and this is what a human would be able to do. So excellent film, excellent experience. So that's a little bit of story time. So now, time to get into the physical media that I picked up for this movie. So the first time I bought this film, it was the standard DVD. Man, I remember when this thing came out, I literally looked at when the release date was, because unlike now where DVDs and physical media comes like maybe a few months after the theatrical release, back then you weren't gonna get your hands on a physical copy of the film till 6 months to maybe even a year after the film release. So this was one of the ones that I had to have in my collection. This is literally the DVD version, and I haven't gotten rid of this just because I remember what it was like buying this thing. I remember having it in my hand like the Holy Grail, like, oh, I finally got Batman, oh. I don't even think this version has any of the special features like commentary or anything, but I didn't care. I just wanted to have this film in my collection because I've always been an avid physical media collector. I play this thing to the ground. This is one of those movies that I used to just pop on to go to sleep to. It's literally a comfort movie. I still do it to this day. So the next version of this film, my wife actually bought for me on my birthday. And again, that's why she's my wife and I love her, because she just knows me to a T. But this is the Dark Knight trilogy, all movies. And of course you're gonna be like, this is all the movies. Yeah, but the Dark Knight's in here, and this is still my favorite version of this film that I bought. And I did update and get it on Blu-ray. Don't have it on 4K yet, but this is a DVD, but I love this artwork. So it's like a bookcase almost. So you turn that to the side, the back symbol. And of course, if I didn't mention it, this holographic right here, you know, it looks like this. You turn a little more, Dark Knight Rises, and then you look at the beginning, Batman Begins. I think this is so dope. So slide that bookcase out there. And you have this super dope art, the trilogy. Turn around the back. And this is what's really so dope right here, and why I kept it to this day. You open this bad boy up, and you got all the movies right here. That is hard. You gotta admit, that's still tough. You flip it on the back. You got this artwork here. Super fire. So this is the one that I still have on my shelf, and this is kind of just my version of a trophy, just because I still haven't found a box set to me that's better than this one. Love this thing. So thank you to my beautiful wife for finding this. Have no idea where she found it, but presented it to me, and I was like, yes, 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 gotta have it. And this is the more updated version. I believe that this is the trilogy that Chris Nolan himself designed, if I'm not mistaken. And it's pretty straightforward and clean cut. You got the, you know, the white background with the 3 Batman symbols to symbolize the trilogy. Turn that to the side. Excuse this color. I know it's kind of washed out, but then the back is just plain. But what's cool about these are, it comes with some little special features in here. And I also gotta say, the DVD box set that I have, there's a booklet that came with it, but I have no idea where it's at. It's somewhere in my shelf. I gotta look. Stop being lazy, and I found the booklet that came with the DVD, and this is the art of making the Dark Knight trilogy. And literally, it's just going through the entire trilogy with different photos and background information, like behind the scenes, sketches, and a lot of dope stuff, honestly. See the suit there. Don't want to go through all of this, but you kind of get the picture. You could probably Google it and find it. But yeah, this came with that DVD box set that I have, and it's what makes that particular set so special to me. But yep, this is the Christopher Nolan one. It comes with these art cards, and this is kind of a message from Chris talking about what he did with this exclusive version of the film. And then you get the art cards. This one is Scarecrow. This one is Two-Face. That's Bane. Ra's al Ghul. And there is a Joker card, but I taped it on the back of my laptop as a decoration, so I don't have that right now. But a Joker card did come with this. And then of course, standard Blu-ray. And then nothing special, just all the discs in here. This is the Blu-ray and DVD. So it comes with both the Blu-ray and the DVD of this film. So these are the 3 copies of The Dark Knight that I own. Of course, 2 of them being the trilogy. I'm looking to upgrade my collection to get the 4K of all 3 films, and I'm still searching for a box set that appeases my artistic taste. I have a lot of trophy collections back here, and I want something that I can also post on my shelf. And I just haven't found that yet. I'm pretty sure soon I will. I've even thought about the idea of going international to look for a box set. Because I mean, I have all the movies anyway, so I easily could just switch them around and put the actual American discs in there, or just get the 4K where it doesn't matter, you know, 4K players play international stuff anyway. I do look to update just in case you're wondering. And if you've seen some dope ones, let me know in the comments what you saw. Put me on game to whatever collection that you see, maybe a steelbook collection, whatever it is. I'm looking for an upgraded 4K collection that's in a box set per se. That's really what I would want, more so than just like a collection with a steelbook. I really love boxes. I don't know why I'm like that. Dark Knight, easily one of my favorite movies ever, both comic book genre and outside of the genre as movies, period. So, I want to thank y'all for watching and rocking with this segment. There will be another one next month, but I had to knock this out to display my love for that film. Let me know in the comments what do you think about The Dark Knight? Where do you rank it in comic book movies? And where do you rank it in movies? Is it any of your top films ever? Which I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, it is. But anyway, for this kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe, and if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.